Hey there guys, how's it going? And welcome to the Dark Night of the Soul course. So, I've shot this course before. Last time it was 45 minutes. I'm gonna go for at least half an hour this time. I shot that course like 4 years ago. My consciousness has changed so much since then. So basically I just want to redo it, and it'll be better because my energy will be better. So it'll affect you guys in a better way. So, are you ready? Let's get puffing. So, Dark Night of the Soul. What is Dark Night of the Soul? Okay. Dark Night of the Soul comes from the Bible. Somewhere in the Bible they say Dark Night of the Soul, and basically what it points to is, because the Bible talks all about enlightenment. They don't use the word enlightenment, they use Christ consciousness, they use different words. Anyway. But basically, they talk about it in the Bible, and what it's pointing to is when you're on your awakening journey, or it may even be before your awakening journey. It could be before you even start your journey, you're going through all this shit and you don't know what it is, and it's existential, and you're depressed and you're anxious and everything is hell, or it comes and goes. It could very well be Dark Night of the Soul, but you'll know in the near future when you get through it and you're like in heaven on the other side. But yeah, so sometimes it happens before that. Sometimes it happens. It does have an end. That's the most important point that I want to tell you guys about. It does have an end. It will end. But basically. So it can happen during your spiritual awakening, and it's basically a purging of all this negative shit that's inside you, and you think like, oh, it shouldn't be here, but that's one of the core delusions, the assumption that things aren't meant to be. What you got to understand is if it's happened in your life, it was meant to happen. This is just how God works. This is just how the higher power works. This is just how life works. So you're just doing your thing on your spiritual journey or not, wherever you are. Life is short, so you'll find out if it's the spiritual journey soon enough. Anyway, but basically it hits you, and it can come in the form so they say there's two core emotions, love and fear. And this is basically a whole bunch of fear coming up that you need to purge. But it can come in the form of anger, it can come in the form of grief, it can come in the form of shame. Anything on the map of consciousness. The map of consciousness is basically a spectrum of consciousness from shame all the way to enlightenment, by David Hawkins, and it just outlines all the different emotions, all the different worldviews, and all the different names for the different stages. But basically all those lower ones, so there's like a split. There's like, it's negative, and then it's neutral, and then it's positive. But there's a split where it goes from neutral to negative or neutral to positive. And basically what happens, so that split on the lower side, when things go down and become negative, that's all those things are what the Dark Night of the Soul is going to give you. Maybe not all of them, it'll be a different combination, it's different for everyone. And Dark Night of the Souls lasts for different times. For some people, it's just like here and there, like scattered through their life. For most people, why it's got such the name Dark Night of the Soul, is because usually it's pretty fucking intense and it lasts pretty fucking long. So, you just gotta persevere. It's a sign you're doing something right, as Muji says, like, you're onto something. So, yeah, basically, all you gotta do is meditate. So, if you're going through this stuff and you don't know why, and you haven't been introduced to spirituality, then this is the perfect video for you, because I'm going to talk about how to meditate in this video as well. Meditation is super easy. It's the simplest thing. It's being present and not thinking. which are kind of two separate things, because you can be looking and be present and not be silent. Like you can be kind of like thinking in the background, like with words in your head, or the ego talking to you, not you. It depends how you look at it, because there's some stages you got to act like you do have free will because if you don't, then you'll use it as an excuse to not do stuff. You act until you have free will, until you realize there is no free will. Oh, it's just started to rain, bro. Oh, this is going so well. Damn it. Okay. Anyway. I might have to go. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna have to reshoot this whole thing. Hopefully not. Fuck, I hope not. Anyway, so, Dark Night of the Soul. It's in the Bible. It's a purging of what's inside. It's a good thing. It's a hard thing. And for most people on the spiritual path, it's an inevitable thing. So, what you gotta do is feeling is healing. You gotta go into it and feel where it is in the body. It could be where you hold your power, as RJ Spina says, between your groin and your belly button. It could be in your head. You could have a headache. It's not just a headache. It's something very intense. I've been through many dark nights of the soul, and I still think I've got a couple to go, but I'm doing so good these days, like, because I learned how to be silent. So, and when you can be silent, so, okay, let me explain. There's visual thoughts and audible thoughts, right? You stop the visual thoughts by taking it away from the mind's eye to your body's eyes, and you get rid of the voice by focusing on the body's eyes and breathing. So breathing gives you something to do. My arm is gonna fall off. Jesus, mate, it's so sore. Oh, because I did gym yesterday, that's why. Sorry. I did gym yesterday and I did my shoulders, and anyway, they're really sore. I can't even hold up my phone. Yeah, so, okay, so Dark Night of the Soul. One of the best things you can do for Dark Night of the Soul is hang around good people. Hang around people that lift you up. There's this guy at work who is just really positive. He's one of the greatest. He's so incredible. Like, he's just so positive. And he brought me up the other day when I didn't think he could. And then I realized the power of people. The power of, as iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. The power of love. The power of giving peace and watching it come back to you. Anyway, so I'm just trying to backtrack to what I was talking about. Dark Night of the Soul is basically inevitable. It's a purging. But yeah, feeling is healing. If you go into it, that's what we're talking about, yeah. Feeling is healing. When you go into it, you will heal it faster. So relax and release. So if you're really stressed, the best thing you can do is go on your bed, lie down, eyes open or closed, it doesn't really matter. I like to keep mine open. You relax the body entirely. You start to breathe slowly, calmly. And you'll notice, like, instantly. The thing is, things happen instantly. If you make an intention to live your best life will start that instant. Everything happens instantly. You don't get everything instantly, but it all starts to get to you instantly. So, anyway, so so you lie down, you relax your body, and you can feel the inner energy field of the body, which is Eckhart Tolle's teaching. It's someone's discovered it before, but he kind of popularized it in the spiritual circles. But you hold your arm up, you close your eyes, you keep it there, and you ask yourself the question, how do I know my arm's there? How do I know my arm's there? Because you can feel it. That's the inner energy field of the body. You start on the periphery and work your way to the center. So what you do is you get your energy, you focus, you'll be able to feel like your fingertips, they'll like start to vibrate, they'll start to tingle, they'll start to like vibrate, yeah. And you can do that with your toes, and then you basically work your way. It takes a while, but it's probably the best meditation ever. in my opinion, because it's really good for your body and your immune system. Because you're feeling everything. Everything's energy, and feeling is healing. And when you give presence, it heals. Yeah, and then you can like listen to your body, and it can tell you things. You can get certain abilities, such as like Eckhart, if he says, if there's a food he's not sure if he should eat, he sits there with the body, and the body kind of opens or closes, so to speak, for lack of a better way of explaining it. And then, yeah, he'll like take it or not take it. So it's crazy. Anyway, Dark Night of the Soul, Dark Night of the Soul. Dark Night of the Soul, because it's called Dark Night of the Soul because it's fucking hard. And it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. And this is the thing, this is the spiritual journey. This is why I make these videos. Because if there's hope, I'm sharing it, son. But also you gotta let go of hope, because that implies future. And this is what happened when Osho became enlightened. He just dropped hope. Anyway, I'm getting a bit distracted. Yeah, Dark Night of the Soul. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. But yeah, this spiritual path, we need people sharing like hope and sharing like wisdom. Because once your mind's been stretched by an idea, it doesn't go back to the same dimensions as before. It's changed, it's stretched. So anyway, yeah, so yeah, hanging around good people is something you can do. Meditating is obviously the most important thing you can do. But just also know that basically when you, this dog bro, when you, puppy, oh damn, I had a good gem and then I lost it. That's right. Yeah, Dark Night of the Soul. I'm just trying to remember what I was saying. Anyway, the good thing about meditation is you go on and say one thing, you can forget, and then you can just pick up anywhere and just start saying something else. Because the wisdom is infinite, the insights are infinite. It's really powerful stuff, and this is where you'll be on the other side, when you go on the other side of Dark Night of the Soul. So, alright, one good way to remember stuff if you're forgetting stuff is literally talk back. So don't try and remember mentally, just like say what you were saying, and then it'll kind of just pop into your head. And don't think that there's like a certain way to be when you're enlightened, like, oh no, you're thinking. It's like, yeah, dude, like every master ever thinks. Sometimes they even get negative thoughts. I've noticed Eckhart Tolle get a consciousness hit, which is basically where your consciousness goes down. And obviously they just get more bumps than hits, and that's why they're masters. But I've noticed Muji get a hit. I'm sure Osho's had one. He's probably the person who's had the least amount of hits, because he moves really slow, so he was like super careful with his consciousness. Yeah, so the slower you go, the faster you go. That's another tip when going through Dark Night of the Soul. Slow the body. And if you're going through like the hardest stuff ever, just know that you will get through it. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything negative started with a thought. And meditation is the art of dissolving all these thoughts. You know? So so you will dissolve the thoughts, you will dissolve the core thought, and you will be completely free. How do I know this stuff? That's a tough question. It's a kind of a long story, I won't go into it, but in essence, I became awake, and then I started meeting enlightened people, like, everywhere. And, and then I just started studying this stuff, and I just started remembering it because I was so passionate about it. Holy Jesus. It is hot. I'm glad I didn't bring my jumper today. I was going to bring my jumper because it's like cold inside. I thought it'd be like super cold outside. Anyway, yeah. So you're going to go through tough stuff, but just know it's Dark Night of the Soul. No, nothing is wrong. There's nothing wrong. You got this. Like, you're doing great. If you're having trouble loving yourself, acceptance of yourself is the first step to loving yourself. So just be like, this is where I am, you know. But love and gratitude, all these things, this is the thing. People get mixed up, side tangent. People get mixed up. They think gratitude and love are like thoughts, things that you like think about and focus on. But that's not what they are. They're states of consciousness. that means they're just naturally, you see it literally, like these dogs. Hey buddy. Anyway, yeah, so like gratitude is a state of consciousness, and this is the thing, dark night of the soul is a state of consciousness. It's also just a bunch of thoughts, because the more you think, the more you overthink, the more you overthink, the more negative you get, the less you think, the more clear you get. Real thinkers don't think, and you become wise. So yeah, anyway, dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul is, man, it is so hard. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, as I said, but you will get through it. Sounding like a bit of a broken record here, but you will get through it. Hope those plovers don't swoop me. Anyway, when I was a kid I got swooped by a plover and it kind of scarred me, but I'm not scared of them anymore, but it's just annoying when they swoop you. Yeah, so the best advice I have for people going to, I think I got to go into more what Dark Night of the Soul is. So it's emotions and thoughts that are like out of place for the situation. So it's kind of like, almost like a phobia. It's like you're in a situation and you see a spider and you fucking faint. It's kind of like that, except you don't faint. I mean, maybe you could have a panic attack and faint and then wake up the next morning, be like, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck happened? Yeah, so, but so it's emotions and thoughts, and then the body responds in form of like, see, when you meditate, you regulate your nervous system, so you become more calm, and your homeostasis of calm goes up and up and up and up. But as you're doing this, you get ego backlash, so the ego tries to like fight back and be like, no, I want to win, because the ego doesn't want you to awaken. This is the thing, it's pulling back and it's dissolving and it's dying, so it's being like, no, so it's like struggling, like it's in 2 inches of water, like struggling. The hard truth is, as what's his name, Kyle Cease says, the hard truth is that basically when you're creating all these thoughts, you're creating them, you are and you're not, it's weird. You're like creating a fearful picture and then getting scared by it. But once you learn to meditate and be silent, okay, this is a different thing. They're the same thing, but, oh man, it's so complicated, but it's also really simple. Holy shit. Sorry, my legs. Went for a run yesterday, so my legs are super sore. Alright, so it's like the hardest thing you'll ever do. You gotta trust, because they say there's only love and fear. So this is one meditation you can do. Just trust in love. No, there's only love and fear. There's two forces warring against you inside you, is what Paramahansa Yogananda says. So one technique you can do is you can just trust that there's only love and fear and be like, oh, just be like, no, just be like happy, basically. That's the best meditation technique, really. It's just being happy. So sleep, happiness, meditation. Shit. Hold on, I gotta cross this road. Happiness, sleep, relaxing the body. You should probably have a few meditation techniques in your belt until you realize how to be silent, because silence is the ultimate. Osho says relaxation is the ultimate, but I say silence is the ultimate. Relaxation leads to silence, but silence is more sustainable, because when you're like on your feet, you keep forgetting to relax and you're missing opportunities to be present, because you're relaxing and then you forget for longer than it would for you to be silent to bring it back, if that makes sense. So yeah, so basically what don't be worried about your memory, by the way. Don't be worried about anything, because everything with meditation is getting better. That's literally the quote, meditation gets you everything, by Swami Vivekananda maybe. But yeah, he says like meditation gets you everything, and it literally does. Like in my book that I'm writing at the moment, I'm talking about that, and I go through everything. Why it gets you everything. It gets you health, wealth, love and happiness, the 4 pillars of the good life by Tai Lopez. Happiness, obviously, that's what it gives you. Health, because you're more conscious, you make more conscious decisions to eat healthy, to go to gym, to eat supplements. Wealth, you don't worry about money, so you start vibing with it. And then money comes in strange places, it comes out of strange places. As one of my friends on Instagram, she just wrote a book and I've been reading it, and she says money comes in strange places. And it's so true. Like when you meditate, the thing is, you can do anything in this life, and you will do anything if you meditate, because when you meditate, there's plenty of time to do whatever you want to do on this earth. When you meditate, there's plenty of time. That's a quote by Deepak Chopra. Yeah, there's plenty of time. Like you can literally you can't do everything, but you can do anything. So you want to like know what you want. And this is what Deepak Chopra says as well. I'm getting sidetracked, so I'll get back to Dark Night of the Soul in a sec. Deepak Chopra says, ask yourself the question, what do I want? And then fall into that. And then let yourself feel it, kind of thing. Anyway. But yeah, Dark Night of the Soul. Okay, so we've covered the definition of Dark Night of the Soul. It's a purging. It's tough. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. It comes in the form of thoughts and emotions. Your emotions are thoughts as well. Like they come from thoughts. The best technique I know for like handling all this stuff is, because once you get the knack of meditation, you can ultimately like stay in it. But all you got to do is do 2 to 5 seconds of silence as many times in the day as you can until they start connecting, and then eventually your days are just one big moment. God, man, that must feel so good. I can imagine. I haven't had one day of no thought entirely yet. I will soon, but yeah, so don't worry about anything. You'll get everything you want. You just, yeah. You will. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to... I've had hate. I've had 2, one on Instagram and one on YouTube, hating my content. And you just laugh, bro, because it's like, you don't even know, like, they don't even know what you're talking about, let alone try. Don't hate something you don't understand, is what Einstein says. So, fuck, anyway. Crazy. So, yeah, so we've defined what it is. It sucks. It comes in phases, is an important insight. So it'll come and it'll go. Let's cross the road again. Bit of Mario there for you. Super Mario. Yeah, so what it contains, what it is, how to combat it. Yep, you gotta meditate and trust. If you are suicidal, get help. It's just weird. You gotta be careful when it comes to medication, because medication doesn't really solve problems but pushes them down and suppresses them. This is what R.J. Spina says, the author of Supercharged Self-Healing, a fucking international bestseller. He healed from like everything. He had like riddled with cancer, hip down paralysis, or like, I think it was chest down actually, it was chest down paralysis. and he healed from that, and he's taught thousands of people how to heal from all kinds of stuff. Like, I know I'm gonna heal from my stuff. I know I can probably heal my eyes because they got worse with thought. And this is why it's a weird question when people say, are you enlightened? Because I'm aware of everything. But also, like, ooh, so cool. So I should... Excuse me. Yeah, so alright. We haven't got long, so it's alright. I can talk forever, so there's no worries. Yeah, so I can't talk forever, but you'll get better at remembering. As I said, I'll get better at remembering. It's just it's kind of annoying at the moment. Annoying phase, but yeah. So it comes in phases, dark night of the soul, and it comes in different intensities. So it's the thing. This is the mind, bro. We're trying to understand all this stuff with the mind. I don't want to add anything onto you. I don't want to add knowledge onto you. I don't want you to go, oh, that's right, he said this. You can remember that stuff, but let it come naturally. Don't try and force it, because then that's going to be more ego, and you're just going to have, it's just going to delay your progress. It's just going to delay your inevitable awakening. So, but ultimately then it's all destiny, so fate. It's all meant to be. It's all going to happen either way. You know, you don't have any control over it. As Adidas Samraj says, an avatar is someone who basically is, they're born awakened. So this was Jesus, this is Adidas Samraj. There would have been other ones. There are other ones. Anyway, but he says, relax, nothing is under control. That's pretty good. That's pretty nice. Relax, nothing's under control. What way am I gonna go? Let's go this way. Yeah, so just throw everything you have at it. But if you're suicidal, get help. And if you want to talk to me, talk to me. Like, go on my community, send me a message, or go on my Instagram and send me a message, or leave a comment on a YouTube thing. Maybe not YouTube, because then everybody can see, like, it's not private chat. So yeah, basically, yeah, send me a message. We'll catch up and talk and get you back on your feet. Because just know that you're not destined to... It's hard to say, bro, but you know, you're destined for more. You are here to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. This is how important you are. This is what Eckhart Tolle says at the start of his book, The Power of Now. His first real full book. He had a book called Stillness Speaks before it, but this is like the first kind of normal book, because Stillness Speaks is like poems, in poem form, almost, you could say. So yeah, I want to help, okay? I want to help, because I want to see the world awake. But the thing is, we don't need everyone awake, we just need enough people that it changes the collective consciousness to be way just enlightened, basically. Even though that contradicts what I was just saying, but yeah, yeah, so okay, here's the best technique for it. So look, okay, this stops the visual thoughts. Breathe through the nose, out through the nose, in through the nose, out through the nose, and that'll stop the audible thoughts. And then you'll be silent, and you'll notice it straight away. You can't miss it. You'll just do it, like, and just look and breathe, and you'll see there's just nothing happening. Like, everything but nothing. Like, it's you're just present, and there's no thought about it, and it's just silent. You keep doing that, you'll be balling in spiritual gems, in spiritual peace. You'll kill it. You'll go fast. You'll go far. Don't be annoyed that you lost the present moment. Be grateful that you came back to it. Don't be annoyed that you keep like that you're not abiding completely all the time. It's 2 to 5 seconds. You gotta get rid of these thoughts. You gotta get rid of them. Like, you got a lot of stuff. If it's not happening, it's not happening for a reason. There's a good reason for everything. You know? Okay, we're at half an hour. Let's go to 45 minutes. Let's fucking do it, son. Yeah, so basically, what you'll do when you get your dark night of the soul is one of the worst things you can do is resist it, because what you resist persists, what you accept you go beyond. If you repress it, it's going to come out in ugly ways. If your body like ticks and twitches, it's going to take longer. You got to relax the body, and you don't have to be fully relaxed. You can be like half relaxed and just kind of like walk and just be like kind of relaxed, you know, just not twitching. Whoa, what happened here? Shit, he got something on his wheel. Anyway. Yeah, so basically what you resist, I can't believe I didn't say that at the start. What you resist persists. So, hey buddy. Hello. Alright, so yeah, so what'll happen is you'll be present and you'll still get thoughts like every like 10 seconds, but the difference is that you bring it back so fast and so well that it's like it was never there. Shit, what way do I go? These hills are massive. Yeah, so Dark Night of the Soul is it's a teaching. It's your friend. It's teaching you to surrender. The whole spiritual path comes down to surrender. This is what they teach. This is what Michael Singer teaches. The whole spiritual path is literally surrender. So, but you can't always start there. You got to go through what you're going to. You got to build your consciousness up. Every time you create a gap in the stream of mind, your consciousness grows. As Eckhart Tolle says. Yeah. I kind of have a lot of quotes because they're so good. And also know that there's no right meditation. Another quote. Yeah, it's just they're interesting and they all make sense and they all connect. So, anyway, find your favorite spiritual teacher. Find someone who you connect with, like me and Eckhart Tolle. I connect with Eckhart like crazy. He's amazing. He's my favorite spiritual teacher of all time. Maybe the Buddha, but living, Eckhart Tolle. Adyashanti's another good one. Rupert Spira is another good one. There's so many out there because we're more conscious than we've ever been. These are exciting times. We're on the edge of AI doing its thing, whatever that may be. We're on the edge of awakening, we're on the edge of collapse, but it depends how because there's two timelines, the positive and the negative. Basically, oh shit, I need to slow down. 33 minutes, here we go. Another like 8 minutes. Sorry, what was that? 10 minutes. Yeah, so when in doubt, trying to make it rhyme. When in doubt, bring it back to the present moment. Even if you're like halfway through speaking, like what you realize is this whole stuff just happens by itself. I've had an experience of something, not me. It must have been God. I grew my faith that day. Fuck. God brought my attention back to the present moment. It was completely God. It was completely not me. Literally, I'm just like there in my head, and then something brought it back, and I didn't do anything. So you'll get luckier and luckier. As luck is a dividend of sweat, your luck will grow, you'll go exponential. That's ultimately what exponential is. I don't know how it works, I don't know why it is, but it grows. Let's go this way. It grows and it just goes stronger and stronger. Anyway, Dark Night of the Soul. What else is there to say about Dark Night of the Soul? You don't have to do it alone. But you can if you want. Some people like just being alone. That's what I did. Pretty much. But just don't freak out about anything, because at the end of the day, if whatever you're afraid of will pass. Just keep doing the best. This is the ultimate teaching on the outside, is to just do your best in any given moment. So This includes meditation. Just be meditating constantly, and it'll get you everything. It's so simple. This life is simple. How amazing is it? There's the most simple thing, which is just you put your attention on what God's creation. You become God. You become so godly that you literally become God. Because what happens is you get grace. Oh, grace. My favorite word in the spiritual dictionary. Because grace means things just happening gracefully. But like, just, it could be anything. It can look black, white, yellow, green. It can look like anything. And it's just luck. But it's just like smoothness. It's on the level of the body. It's on the level of the mind sometimes. When the spirit's using the mind. When you're using your mind, not when the mind's using you. It's on the level of words. It's on every level. And infinite to infinite degrees to infinite like dimensions. It's infinite. And you get an image of your head of what that is, but it's beyond that. to infinity. So, anyway. Yeah, anyway, Dark Night of the Soul. It's tough, bro, but don't lose hope. Stay optimistic. Be a long-term optimist. Like, you need to grow your faith. You need to know that, you probably know the idea of the mustard seed. A faith the size of a mustard seed, you can tell that in a mountain to move and it'll move. In the Bible they say that. This is the thing, if you just have a little bit of faith, that can take you the whole way. The tricky thing is, few people have heard of the path. Fewer people start the path. Even fewer people persevere on the path. And even fewer people finish. Holy Jesus, sorry. I'm a bit wrecked. Even fewer people, yeah. So, sorry, just my legs are sore from where I live. There's tons of hills. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. No, jokes. But yeah, don't have this idea like that spiritual teachers should be a certain way. I just say this because I just made that joke. They make mistakes like all of us. They just forgive themselves and they love themselves and they grow themselves. But it's not even like you do the growing, like it just happens. This is the thing. Dark Night of the Soul is a growth. It's a growing period. You're having growing pains. You know? It's you know what I'm gonna say? Yeah, so you're gonna get better. One day, it's just gonna hit you one day. Like what I'm about to say. Enlightenment will hit you one day, but before that, everything will just start going exponential. You'll be sitting there one day, you'll purify one thought, or you'll just become more conscious. Two ways to grow yourself, okay, on the level of thought or on the level of consciousness. And don't try and control your mind, by the way. Like when it comes to, like, you can use the mind, but don't try and control it too hard, because it's just gonna happen naturally on itself. Like it'll just unfold naturally on itself. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, if you're on Instagram, follow people that are conscious. If you're on YouTube, follow people that are conscious. The next best thing to hanging around conscious people, the next best thing is watching them on YouTube, reading their books. So I gotta end this video, guys. My throat is fucked and I want it to be okay so I can shoot another video in a couple days. So thanks for staying with me, guys. I hope you now understand what Dark Night of the Soul is, how to combat it, and why you should care. Why should you care? Because if you're on the spiritual journey, it's gonna happen. It may not, but it probably will. For most people, the spiritual path is gradual, which means it takes time, which means within that time it's going to be filled with some negative things. But it's okay. You'll get through it. You got this. I believe in you. And stay present, stay silent. Keep practicing. You're not going to get it in your first go. Realistically. It's going to take time, and you're going to have to practice with different techniques and struggle, and it'll be hard, but you'll be okay. So just have faith, because your faith will grow. Your faith will grow. So true. Anyway. Alright, have a good one, guys. Thanks for staying around. This was Dark Night of the Soul. Stay around for the next course, which will be conscious sleeping. Let's go. Thank you.